Power Apps portal and SharePoint online integration. So throughout this tutorial, what we will do is create a new environment, Power Platform environment, a new SharePoint site, Power Apps portal, and then try to integrate SharePoint with Power Apps portal and be able to upload files into portal, and it will land into our SharePoint site. And then to do that, we need to create some entities inside the Power Apps portal, Power Apps platform, the CDS. And then so we will configure the Power Apps page, permissions, forms, and list. And finally, we will look at how we can increase the file size limit for SharePoint file upload. Out of the box, it's 10 MB limit, but we will configure it to be able to do it 50 MB, and that's the maximum we can go. We will go through a scenario where you create external party accounts and then assign tasks to those external parties. And for each task, you require the external parties to upload files, and they log in. They have their login account, and they log in and they upload files, and those files will be located in your SharePoint online site. So we start by going to admin.powerplatform.microsoft.com. In here, we will create a new environment. So by clicking the new button in here, on here we will put our for our environment name. So we'll just call it portal hour. We'll choose trial from here. Region, I'll leave it to default, and we'll create the database part as well. Next, and then ask for URL. Do portal hour. We'll just leave those ones. We can deploy sample data as well. Save. So it will take a little bit time to provision the environment. It will come up with provisioning, and the status will become once it's ready, the status will change to ready. While this is doing, so as you can see, preparing an instance, so it will take a few minutes to do that. We'll wait for this to finish. While it's doing this, it will take a little bit time. So while it's doing, we will go and create our SharePoint site. So we'll go to our SharePoint admin center, and in here we create a site. We can choose team sites or communication site, doesn't matter. For communication, for team site, you will have Office 365 group created as well, but for communication site there's no group, so we'll go with communication site for now. We'll just call it same thing, portal hour. Add myself as owner, and we'll leave the rest. We can just leave this as the same template. Finish. Should create our SharePoint site, so it has created that. Come back here, refresh to see if our environment is created. Right, so our environment is ready. It's trial version. It's only valid for 30 days. Now we can go and set up create our portal. So we need to go Power Apps, powerapps.microsoft.com, sign in. We'll choose our new environment, so portal hour. And here, since it's a brand new environment, we only have these. We chose sample data, that's why these ones are created. And we'll come here and say create portal. So in the screen we'll just call our portal name portal hour, and choose the same thing for the name portal hour, and it will do a check to see if the URL is available. It is, and once that's done we'll say create. This one will take a little bit time as well, so we will let it run to create the portal. So it is showing like that, and then it will send an email to your email address account that you're logged in. Once the portal is provisioned, you will receive an email. It's taking a while to create the portal itself. While it's doing this, we can go and start the integration between our environment and CDS. So we'll start by going to our admin center on Power Platform, and then we'll select our environment that we want to start the integration with CDS. So we go on to environment settings, and inside settings we have integration in here. On an integration we select document management settings. This will open a new window which should load our the integration setting. So this is the document management integration for SharePoint. So in here, if you have not configured the integration, you will see this option. Once you do the integration, this option will not be there, and instead you will see a OneNote icon integration in here. So we'll start by clicking in here, enable server-based integration. It will tell us some information here about the integration of SharePoint and Dynamics 365. Click next. We'll choose online, and in here we will paste our SharePoint sites. Go back, get the SharePoint site URL, and we can come to our settings, paste the SharePoint site. It will do some validation, and once it passed the validation, it's coming up with this error. I'm guessing because our portal is still provisioning, that's why it's coming with this error. So once the portal provision is completed, then we'll come back and start configuring the integration. So I'll pause the video for now. Okay, the portal is now configured, so we can see the portal is provisioned now. Now we can go back to the document management configuration as we came from the portal admin center settings. So we clicked into environment, portal out, our environment name, and then settings, and then integration document management. And it took us in here. Now we enable the integration. We say next, and we choose, it is by default chosen online, and we go with online, and we'll paste our SharePoint site, and it should not take very long. So it says valid. There's the validation, and that's finished. So as I said, so this one, once the integration is done, then you wouldn't see that icon anymore. And then the other part too, so although we have done the integration, if I go to here, I can't see any libraries related to our entities. So there's another part of the configuration that we need to do to create those libraries. So we come here to document management settings, and in here we chose the entities that we want to create the library for inside our SharePoint. So for now I'll just leave the default selected ones, but once we add our custom entity, then we have to come back in here and do the configuration again, run this again to create the library. So for now I'll go here, so One thing in one option you have in here is based on entities. So what it does is, if you select this one, I will put so anything that's linked. That's what I understood. And anything that's linked to an account. For example, you create an entity that you link it to account. So all the items from that entity that relates to account will come under the account. Will create a subfolder. But I don't want to do that. I want to create put the files in each entity library. So go here, say next, and then it will come up with this message. Says several minutes to create the libraries. It's pretty quick from experience. It just went and created 11 libraries. Finish. If we come back to our SharePoint and do a refresh, we should see these 11 libraries created in here for us. And that's the first part of the integration. And then the other part, from the portal side, you go to portal settings, and in here you choose administration. So it will open up the portal administration page for us, and then there you have to do enable the SharePoint integration for this particular portal. So it comes up with this. Then you go to set up SharePoint integration, and in here you just say enable integration, and with this message you say enable, and it should be pretty quick as well. It will come up with a user account that you want to enable the integration with. So I'll go with my admin account. So this one is a global admin, and it will ask for this permission request to accept this permission request for the integration to happen. Once you've done that, it will come up with a successfully enabled message. And now integration part is working, and then for each entity we have another another part that we have to enable on the entities to be able to use this SharePoint integration. We'll go through that once we create our entities. We'll go now to our Power Apps portal again. So you notice with each portal you have that portal management app as well created, so it's model driven app. If you click on this one, it will give you all the settings, and everything related to the portal is in here. The pages, the list, the permission, the contacts, everything related to the portal is in here in this app. So now we go to, as I said, we need to create a solution for, so since we're adding a custom entity, it's a good idea to create a solution. So go and create a solution. I'll call it portal hour, something like that. It's a good idea to create your own publisher, so you can portal hour. Okay, there we go. And you have a prefix that added to each entity. So the portal hour. Okay, it doesn't allow me to add more than certain number of characters. So p hour. So p hour and then entity name. Save and close. Done. Now portal hour. So that's our solution. So inside the solution, we need to create an entity, a custom entity for us. So we create a new entity. We'll just call it portal hour. Portal hour entity. And notice the prefix for our entity is our publisher name. I'll call it portal tasks, so that will be our main task that we will give it to users. So a name. Now this additional features. So this attachment is not SharePoint, so this attachment will not take it's different from the SharePoint integration. For SharePoint integration, you need to go to collaboration and then select enable SharePoint integration. For each library that you want to integrate, you need to enable this. So we add our entity, so it's provisioning. While it's provisioning, we can add additional fields in here. I would add since it's a task based, I'll create a task completed, so to see if it is completed or not, and it should be as no options. Default is no, and then the other field I want user to be able to add notes as option. I'll choose text area, and then finally I want to add due date for each task. Just call it due really, so it's date only, and we'll save the entity. So we now, since we have a relationship with accounts, so we'll create the relationship in here. So money to one, so each account will have money, portal, our entity, task related to it. So money to one account. This will create an additional field. I will leave the default to decide what will name the relationship. And then the other part we have is a view. So we create a view for users to view the task inside the portal. So it's asking us to save the changes before we are able to do that. So we'll save the changes, and now we say add portal our view. And inside the view, we want to add the task name. So and then due. That's the second column we want to add here. Here goes, and then note, and then finally the complete. So that's the view that users will be able to see. So let's publish this. So that's our view in here, and then we need to modify the main form for internal users to input the data for the users. So to do that, we need to allow the internal users to be able to select account. So we'll add account, so which account it belongs to, and internally users need to specify the due date. The note and the completed will be checked by the external users. So those the external users will have these two in there. So we will publish this for internal users. They will create the task, set the due date, and which account it belongs to. Publish. Go back and we'll create a new form for external users. So for external users, we'll create a new form. We'll call the form name, just call it portal our form. In this form, what we want is for the users to be able to see is the task, but we will only make it read only, so they shouldn't be able to change or the due date, so the user shouldn't be able to make changes to the task name and task due date. They don't need to see the account because they already know which account they belong to, and you cannot hide. Well, this will be hidden for the user anyway, so it is in the form, you cannot remove it, but it will be there. So what we need to add in here for the user to do is to add note and then add completed. And the other important bit we need in here is to be able to add that files with each task. So to do that, we will go here under component and we choose subgrid here. So inside the subgrid we need to add document location, and we choose the active document location, and it will add it as subgrid, and we will publish this. So now the account is set up, the form is set up, the view is set up. Now we need to go to our portal site. So this is our portal. So to get to here, you need to go to your Power Apps portal. You can get to here through different ways. You can create through Power Portal Management app, or you can simply click in settings and then go to site settings. It will take you to site settings, but it is the same Power Apps. It's the model driven app. And here now you need to set up those other entities and forms that we need for the user. But before we do that, since we have a relation with accounts, so we want to show the user account as well. So I'll do is I'll add the account entity, or account entity is already added because we added a relation. So for account entity, what we need to do is to create a form for the user to be able to view their own information. So I'll go here, I'll create a new form. So new form, so I'll call it portal our account form. So in here we don't really need to show everything to the user, so I'll probably remove most of this information, and we probably just need to show the contact for the users. I drop it here and change the form view to column. It should get rid of the extra column in there. I don't need the timeline for the users. I just need the account and basic information about I'll not call it summary, I'll just say account details. Just call account tab really. Account tab. In here I don't need this. We'll add some basic information for the user. I'll keep deleting those extra information, just leave few, probably website, phone and account name. We don't need the details tab, so we'll go to here and remove the whole details tab. Don't need that. just need this much information for the user to be able to see their account details really. And once we do that, we'll just publish it. Not sure why it asks us to reload, but let's reload, and it has published. So we created this portal hour form in here. It's a custom form, as you can see. Now we can go back to our app. So let's just fire up the portal and see what it has. So out of the box, the portal already set up, and it has few pages in there, as you could see, and it is externally visible, all the pages and everything to the external users. So as you could see, about us, and then sign in, and services. Inside services you have 2 products, so anyone who comes to the portal, they will be able to see this information. But what we want to do, we want to create a new page in here, and a new page will be restricted to signed in users, and it will be linked to account. So to do that, we need to edit the portal. So edit the portal, and then add a new page. So that's portal. So we create this new blank page, and then it will give us the option to call the page name. By default it just creates a name for it, but we have to change it, so I can call it my tasks. And then one thing you have to notice, the save button in here, the save icon in there, it will show you what it is. It automatically saves it, so once you click out of it, it takes a little bit of time to save it. So once it saves it, it reloads the page, and now you can define the URL for it. So my tasks, so that's the partial URL for your page, and it just creates it by default. So if you now so this one at the browse website clears the cache for the browser, and you will be able to see the changes that you have made. So now if I open that, it shows me the new my task page. But as you can see, my task page is totally empty. We haven't added anything in here, so there's nothing, and that's our URL. So now we need to add the content for our site. To do that, we need to go back to our portal. So in the portal we go settings, or you could go power portal management, and then inside settings it takes both of them takes you to the same place. In here, first we need to so to enable login, we need to create a user account in here, contact for our portal. So I'll first do that. So come in here under contact, security contact, and in here you would say new, and then say portal contact, and you will just call the names of the contacts. So I'll say John, because it's his last name user, any email really, john@gmail.com. And then the other thing you need to do is so John needs to be to have a company. We'll just add a new company for John, since we don't have so can you record. Let's create a new company for John. You could go through the accounts, but let's do it from here. So let's say click power. John belongs to that. Since we did say main phone, we'll just add a phone, so that will show for the user, and the other field that we are showing for the user is website. I don't think we can do websites from here, but we can later modify those ones. Save and close. So now John has a company, and if I save this one, then there will be option for me to set password. Let's do web authentication as well. So we will say John is the account, enable login as well for John, and we'll save it. So the username is John, and now we have these options in here. We should be able to create password. So change password. So we'll say change passwords. John as John. So we can say okay. We could save and close. So John. Here you go. So that's the company name. We can create another one. So we have a couple of them. So let's say James user, and it relates to the same company, and we'll just email james@gmail.com. web authentication, James, enable login. Let's create another account as well. So we have multiple accounts. So let's say this one is Matt user, and matt@gmail.com, and let's create a new company format. Let's call this one Fun Click. So we have the number as well. Save and close. Duplicate record. Why is it saying duplicate record? The record might be duplicate on one of the records below. Would you like to save anyway? That's click, and that's Fun Click. That's probably the number. Yeah. Okay. Though I typed it randomly, but I have typed the same number for both of them. So I'll just cancel this one. Let's change this number. Okay, so now I can create a web authentication, enable login, and let's save this one. I'll create a login for Matt as well. Password for Matt. Done. So Matt has a login as well. So that's done for our user accounts. And now what we need to do is we need to create the entity forms. So when user logs in, they will be able to see their accounts. So let's go here. So now we need to create a new form. So we'll call it portal hour account form. Portal account form, and we'll choose account, and we choose the portal hour account form, account details. So we will only let the user view it, and it is associated to the current user, and that's our so that's the relationship name. So it's contact, that's our portal contact that will have. So it is the form is permission based. So that's all we need to do. So if I save and close, we still, so if I add this one, the user wouldn't still be able to have permission. We have to add a permission as well. So we come here in the security entity permission. So we can add a new permission, portal our account entity permission, and then we say permission. Our website is starter puzzle. The scope is global, so we want to be able to select all of these ones, although user cannot do all of them. we'll save, and we will have the option to create roles or web role. Which web roles have permission? The authenticated user. So we'll use authenticated users should be able to view the account entity. So once this is done, then we are ready to add our account entity to the page. So this is our page. We'll come here. We will go to the components and say form. Probably we need to do a sync in here to make sure that the changes with the configuration comes here, and then go to my task. Not sure why I added the form so little, so I might just have to remove this one. This column seems very little. I don't need this one. So in here we use the existing. So I've already created that. And this is account form read only, and the permission and everything is set up already. So user should be able to see the details. So now it automatically saves it. So if we click somewhere, it should save. And now we'll say browse website. Now if we go to my task, it should show no record found. But once I log in as any of those users, so we'll try to log in as James or John or Matt, and they should be able to see their accounts. So let's say John. Since it's first time logging in, it will come up with update information, and they can verify email, but these emails are just random emails, so it wouldn't work for verification. So here you go. So click power, John belongs to the click power, but still you see here the user doesn't have permission on the contact. So we need to add that permission in our portal. So we need to go back to entity permission, and we have to define a new permission. So we say portal contact, like we spell permission. So we need to choose contact entity, so user can see contacts. Contact, and our website is the same portal. So this time, since it is it's inside the account, so we choose it as a parent, and the parent permission is our account parent permission. So so we choose the contact our entity permission. So portal hour contact entity permission, and we want to have the user wouldn't be able to do this, but we'll choose it, save, and if we do save and close, so now they get so if I go here, then under the child permission we should see the under child entity permission we'll see the account permission. Now if we go website onto a sync to make sure that the changes are synced, you might not need to do that, but go here. Now the user hopefully should be able to see my task. I think I need to sign in again. John. Here you go, so the user can see that. So if I log in as Matt should see that the company, which we call it FunClick. So Matt. Here you go. So Matt is the only user in here. So now, since we have done that, we need to now configure the other bits, add the list of tasks in here for the users. So they should be able to see tasks. But before we do the task, we have to set up some tasks for them, and then configure the task so they should see the task. So to do that, so we go back to our solution and we go to our custom solution, our custom entity, and add some data in there for the users. Portal hour, so our portal hour entity, and here we need to go to the data, and inside data we add new record. So we add a record, let's say so we add portal and task. Let's click I'll use shortcut for the users for the company. Click portal, upload demo files, due date, and choose a week from now, and it's click power, and we can add another one for click power. Click power, upload website files, due date, let's say 2 weeks. So I added 2 tasks for each company. So if I change the fields, now we could see, so these 2 for click power and 2 for fun click. Probably not fun click. I should change this one. Edit. That's for fun click. So now we're going to refresh data. So 2 for this, 2 for that. And now if I go to our in here, I have to create a list, entity list. Say new portal hour list, and that goes to our portal hour form entity. Portal hour form entity, and we'll choose our website. In here we need to choose add the view, so our portal hour view that we created. And in here, so permission is for users who are logged in, and then the other important bit is this one relates to the account. So choose the account, and so they only see the login account. They will be only able to see their own tasks, not other tasks. So once we do that, we save and close. The other thing we need to do is for the user to be able to see this, to add permission for that entity. So we need to go back here, say portal entity permission. Scope is again global, we want to enable all this for now, but if we need to take out something, we will save, and then we add role in here, just authenticated users, and we save and close. Now we're able to add our list to the portal page. So we go back to the page, and we want to add that list under the account. So we select that, we say list. We might need to do this to bring that new list. Go back to the tasks, select the list. So we have already created our list, and all the permissions are set up. So it's portal task due date note, and that's the view that we created. So if we go now to our website, we should have the tasks. Might ask us to log in again. Yes. So sign in, John. So here you go. So now the user is able to see. So now the only thing remaining is for the users to be able to upload files and complete the task. So currently it's not completed. They will be able to search. Currently you could see collect power. So collect power, and they have two tasks. This is the user account. So to allow user to edit, we need to create a form in here. So we come back to our portal management app, entity form. We create a new form. We call it portal hour entity form, and it is our portal hour. And we choose that form and it's legible, and we want to allow edit and associate to the user. And then we just start up. We actually do a query string because we'll pick up the ID from the list. When we click on the list, it will pick up the ID from there. That's why we choose the query list, not associated to the user. So once we do that, we hit save. So we already have permission for that. So now if we go to our page and configure this one, so we might need to do a sync again, so we get the new form in there. In the list we say, okay, when the user clicks on the edit, they should be able to see that form. So now we say allow user to edit. We want to be able to select the form. So that's our entity form. And once we do that, then we can browse websites. So now we should have the option to edit each of these tasks, and we still have to add one more permission for the documents, for the user to be able to see the documents. See, so we have this option now. So now we will have those other parts, but still user wouldn't be able to add files, as you could see in here, because we're missing the permission for the document entity. So we need to add that permission as well. We go back to our entity, we go to security, entity permission. So we need so the user will get permission from our entity, power hour entity, right? So that was account. This one is power hour entity. So we need to create a child entity in here. You could go through here or related. So it's entity permission. it's same thing really, but to do it from here, child permission. Power document permission. So we use document location in here. Document location, our website, and then the scope is parent. So we get the permission from the Power Hour permission. So that's our main entity, and should be able to create. So the user shouldn't be able to delete, but they should be able to create. So we save and close this one, and we save and close the parent one. Now if we do a refresh on our website, the user now should be able to upload tasks as well, upload files. We log in once again, John. So now, so edit the task. They're now able to, so as you could see, the user can't modify these two because we already said the user shouldn't be able to modify these, but the user can add files. So let's do that. Let's choose a file which is less than 10 MB because that's the limit at the moment. You can upload multiple files in one go. Okay, so what's it? No list could be found. Okay, right. So one of the things that we missed was to add this entity to the integration. So we didn't do that. So now what we need to do is to go to this document integration. The library doesn't exist. We go here. We have to make sure the library exists in our SharePoint. So if we go here for Power Hour entity, but we don't have Power Hour entity in here right now. So if I do refresh, if I search Power Hour entity is not there, so we need to add that. So if I go next, it should create Power Hour entity for us, Power Hour library. So it says to be created, so it created only one. As you can see, this is the only library that it created. And if I go back to SharePoint, I should see that Power Hour entity. Now if we go here, I might just do another refresh of the website. Hopefully that should be enough for it to let us upload files. So now if I select this, now I can see that it's there, so I can add files in here. I'll choose multiple files really. So I will upload all the files for me, but as you can see, it creates a page for each file, but you can configure this to show multiple files in one view really. But one of the, so I can say task files uploaded. Yes, so I can complete that. Finally, our final challenge was to see the upload limit, to change that. So if I come here and try to upload anything over 10 MB, it will give me a message saying the size is 10 MB. So if you go to Microsoft documentation, that's why it says that by default it's 10 MB. You have to have this setting to allow more than 10 MB. So we copy this one. We come to our portal management app, and in here we need to go to the settings, site settings, and we add a new setting in here. We copy this exact same thing and we choose our website, and the value in here is in KB, so 50,000 KB is 50 MB. So increase file size limit, and now we save and close, and we do another configuration, sync configuration, and then browse website, and it should allow us to log in. It's John again. John. If I go to my tasks now, if I put 10 MB, it should allow me to do that. So if I go now, choose something. So this one is 12 MB. It shouldn't have any problem. And anything, if anything is over 50 MB, then that's when I'll get that message again. So if I go here and choose something that's over 50 MB, so here is 60 MB. There you go. So it shows our limit has increased to 50 MB. Right, to see your files on SharePoint Online, you just need to come to your SharePoint Online, and as you can see, we created these tasks, and here are the files. So the files are added to SharePoint Online, and that's all. Thank you for watching.